flexibility of roles where if something doesn't go according to plan, they have the backup. Whereas I'd say Gambit is more kind of locked with this Ursa that I want to fight, I want to Roche, and then you're always going to expect the split push of Prophet. There's more of a, I guess you could say, a solid lined plan for Gambit, but it has less branch off opportunities, has less variables you can work with.
Yeah, I'm torn on this game, man, because I love Nature's Prophet. Like, when you say, you know, Gambit, they don't have the farming potential, maybe, that VP has, where they can just fall back on the farm. I look at Nature's Prophet, I see a 60-second Wrath of Nature cooldown that hits for, what, 7,000 damage across the map at level 1. If you include all the damage on all the creeps, so, like, pushes out all the waves. I feel like with Nature's Prophet, you actually can fall back and farm just by virtue of this hero being able to be everywhere and push out all the waves that you can safely jungle. But then you're dealing with the Tinker Troll, so these heroes are very quick at farming. They're very strong in the late game. They're like your hyper carries. It's hard to say who would win this one going late, actually.
See how it's gonna go with the start of these lanes. Checking the blocks on the mid. Afon. I think this might end up straight bang center by the looks of it. No one really getting a clear advantage here. Sorry, nobody getting. There we go. I knew it was going to happen at least once. It catches you out, you know. You just kind of like, this is a word in my vocabulary, and it shouldn't have been.
Yep. I'm interested to see how the mid matchup actually is with OD against Tinker. I haven't seen it in a very long time personally, so curious to see how that's going to go.
Yeah, because they both have obvious ways of just ruining each other's CS. So it's not the one way that we usually see these days with OD just skewing ahead by the third wave by 2 or 3 CS.
I think if you're Tinker, you look to just maybe 2-2 max March build, something like that. You just want to farm. It's just so easy for an OD who's 314 movement speed to set up on a 290 movement speed Tinker and use the Astral and have some gank happen on him. Like, the moment it hits nighttime, I think you're gonna pray that you have 2 points in March on Tinker, at least at that point. So you may as well. Problem with Bravod.
Huh. I guess it's your nuclear deterrent, right? Because if we talked about the Shaker earlier and he'll try for those fissure ganks potentially, if he does that and you've maxed out machines, good luck. Good luck standing that march, because you're probably going to die if you try and commit onto the kill on Tinker there.
And then you have to run past the creep wave too, because he can just constantly keep pushed in. So you'd have to gank him in his jungle. But on the Radiant side, it's so easy to just tango one of these trees to the right. And, you know, jungle safely. You can pull it into your mid tower, for God's sakes. Jungle.
It's one of the kind of interesting things about the Radiant side of the map in the mid is while you do have that jungle camp there, it's a lot easier to gank or defend against ganks compared to the Dire side.
I think Radiant mid is significantly better than Dire mid.
And it's like you mentioned with the March as well, just tangoing that tree and then marching the mid wave at the same time as you farm. The medium camp is very easy, or fairly easy, and then obviously if you eat the tree, then the creeps are going to keep on running towards mid for you, so you're going to get full damage on it.
Yep. Even if OD sat mid and denied everything, you'd still get more experience because you're getting the creep jungle experience as well. Bot lane, Earthshaker, messing with the pool a little bit. That was pretty nice. Unfortunately, no, he got it. Yeah, he messed with it.
That did come out, but yeah, the pull did.
That's one way to be useful with this hero. It's a lot harder to gank the mid lane because the towers are so close together. Earthshaker does not have the impact that he used to in the laning stage, but you can do little things like that where you just stop a pull from happening. That's kind of exactly what you would want your 4-roll to be doing if it's like a typical lane support.
Definitely feels like a lot of teams are drafting the Shaker, and his lane presence at the moment is more defensively focused, right? Because you see someone like an Ursa, not in this case they got on his team, but say an Ursa was against you, you might think Shaker great because I can just block off any chase down.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing that hasn't changed, is that honestly, I'd argue that it's easier to defend now with the Shaker because there's a lot more choke points, there's a lot more, you know, the towers are closer together on the mid lane, so it's actually a better defensive hero. I think the hero as a roamer was definitely stronger when you could be both aggressive and defensive, but if you can pick him in a situation where you want to defend a hero like an OD, for example, it's going to be pretty effective.
So watching this top lane and how they've actually set it up, they seem to be trying to very evenly split the XP between Pasha and Roger. Like one at a time, basically back blocking the creep waves and getting control of those waves regularly.
Yeah, this is something that VP does even in situations where they have a winning lane. I think Oracle plus Ursa should probably beat Brew plus Willow, generally speaking. But even if VP like was the winning lane, they would probably pull the second wave just because it's so strong to have the creep wave right here in front of your tower. It lets you farm when you'd otherwise be pressured. It lets you run to their tower, bullying them if you have heroes that can pressure them. Just gives you so many options for winning the lane to have it static right here in front of the tower. It's quite dangerous for Gambit to be here. Forces FNG to go back and do a pull, which is exactly what he's doing now. Oh, never mind.
Oh, look at that. Centaur helping out in the bot lane, ensuring Akulis can get away.
Oh yeah, he's pulling the new hard camp pull on FNG top. He can now pull it up, which is very cool.
Really nice.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Takes you out of danger as well, in case they want to try and come in and contest you.
Yeah.
Just running towards the tier 1 is critical. So what do you actually think about the no Earthstruck build on Ursa? I know it's the most common one you see right now, and I understand it, but I still feel like sometimes the value point in just having one Earthstruck can be very useful considering the mana cost is so low, and then with the movement speed build you go for, you just help yourself to stay on a target.
Yeah, I agree. I'm always like a little contested on it, just because it's like I feel like if you're gonna go for Ursa with some disable on your team, you may as well just commit fully to like raw damage, and it's like, all right, I'm just gonna kill somebody in like an Oracle queue. But then there's situations where you run into where you're against like a Brewmaster in lane. If you just had a slow for him, you know, he wouldn't be able to lane against you. I have seen people go like a point at Earthshock and then 2 points Fury Swipes and skipping the overpower and using the Earthshock to do some harass with the Fury Swipes. I've seen that too more recently.
I think you have to go one way or the other is the problem. Because the way they changed overpower when they changed it to just be max mana cost the whole time, all it is basically doing is saying if you've clicked a point into this, you're only getting gains. You're not getting additional mana cost at all. So like in people's minds, all of a sudden it's like the most efficient thing to do is this. I've got good movement speed anyway. Yes, the Earth Shock would be useful, but I could just try and spike them down.
Yeah, just feels like 25% slow. It's probably useful for a value point considering how bad it scales afterward. I mean, it still scales all right considering the max slow, but it's still fairly weak in its overall scaling compared to the 1 point.
Yeah.
I think it's also like what does Ursa want to build, right? Like in terms of regen items. I mean, you get mana regen talent at 10, but that's a long way away.
Ooh, no one?
Oh, they're going on him anyway, are they? Yeah, they rotate in. The Fissure's on point. Immersion dives the tower. They get the first blood, and Immersion even lives.
That's a siege wave too. They're gonna get the tower. Tier 1's super important against Tinker.
And it should be pointed out that VP, they saw this coming. They actually cancelled both of the TPs on their supports because they thought the gank would end there. And Gambit just doubled down.
Yeah, you have the Prophet with the TP as well, being able to come in. It's really useful, and like you say, this tier 1 especially against the Radiant Tinker. Dire Tinker, sure, tier 1s are important, but I would argue not as important as the Radiant Tinker tier 1. Just the Radiant Tinker tier 1 opens up so much of the map for Dire side, and it also helps them with securing a Roshan for later on when you want to have for the Ursa. You've already removed that. You only have the Shrine that you can TP to.
No, so they're pressuring pretty hard right now, but this is kind of the annoying thing about this bear. Ridiculously high strength gain and a lot of armor to work with means it's not an easy kill either way.
Roger's gotta be careful.
He can afford to do this though, because he does always have that Shadow Realm as an insta escape. On hero.
Pretty nice against Ursa.
I think I kind of like when they first released this hero, I kind of compared it to Scorched Earth, but better, right? It's like it's an escape, it's a harass, but you don't have to put yourself in danger.
It's honestly, it's another one of these abilities. It's like has 2 abilities in one. Oh, in the top lane.
Yeah, Pasha's got a Coolidge. All right, you were talking before about the max Wrath of Nature damage, and there's your preview.
Dude, its potential max damage at this point is it's like 715. Something like that on one target. That's unacceptably high for a 60-second cooldown global ability at level 6.
Goddamn horror story is what it is, and Dahak is trying to be the horror story here with the Enrage active. They're looking across from the Willow instead as the Fissure blocked him in. Roger can't escape, and they'll get this tier 1 tower. This is actually Gambit's rat lineup working better than the time last game where you would have thought it would have, right, with the DK and the Lycan, because there's nothing restraining them. There's no cooldowns.
Yep.
You just keep running at him.
I really
Yeah.
love this timing on Nature's Blightstone plus Basilius, and then you just show up on Siege Waves, or even just with a gank somewhere with the ultimate. Like, the Blightstone makes it so the tower dies in less hits. The Basilius makes it so that your treants take like 1 or 2 extra hits from the tower. The creeps take 1 or 2 extra hits for the tower. It's so hard to deal with the Nature's Prophet hero if you go for these 2 items until the Tinker gets the Boots of Travel, but he's nowhere near.
And
Yeah.
following it up with the Vlads as well is incredibly helpful. And when you look back at the draft as well, you know, if they would have gone for the Darkseer route, then you don't really have that early Vlads builder, whereas with Prophet, makes sense getting the early Vlads. You win another fight like that, you take Roach real fast, and then you can pressure another, like a tier 2 tower. You go bottom and remove tier 1 and tier 2 after Roach.
Seems like the perfect game for the Prophet in that regard. Like, his items complement the Ursa so well and complement what they need to do at this stage in the game. And I mean, VP, they are going to be on the back burner for at least a few more minutes. As you said, no Boots of Travel on no one, and nowhere near, actually.
Pasha, careful.
Pretty far out. He'll go for the TP away. The Enrage being used into hack. That's a lot of misses, not a lot of hits.
Unfortunate. Even with the overpower max out, none in Earth Shocks, it just doesn't have the damage. Forces him out of lane though. He does just meander back to the top lane. He almost has a Vlad's on Brute. He's surprisingly not doing that bad, despite being against such a hard lane and getting zoned out constantly. Farm wise, he's not doing bad.
Yeah, the Vlads are going to hit at the same time.
Yeah, same. Actually, yeah, it looks pretty much spot on. I mean, Nature's has his now, but about 100 gold to go. 120 in fact for Pasha. Curse Crown coming out to hack. Ramsey's moving across as well, but they just want to try and secure these runes. It's also good to have your troll nearby, right? Because you know in about the next 2-3 minutes, Ursa is likely to try and sneak Roche.
Meander in there with the Nature's Prophet, TPs with the Treants. You'll never know. First, he gets
Solo's in trouble.
Midas.
They just sprout him up. Venge might go down here, even with a Tinker nearby. No one doesn't have the damage to support that.
Every time you press this Wrath of Nature, every single lane just loses all of its creeps. And even if you don't get the last hits, it just doesn't matter. It's all about pushing in the waves so that somebody has to deal with it. And granted, you do have the Tinker to deal with it, but he doesn't have the bots yet, so...
It's like great power and great responsibility. When I press this button, someone will die.
Yeah, the level 6 power spike is insane right now on Nature's Prophet for sure.
It's pretty damn. It's like, the way I see it, it's similar to like Shadow Shaman pushing in lanes and like a Jakiro pushing in lanes where they're just pressuring towers, and sure they die, but it's still such a potent playstyle, and Nature's Prophet does that globally with one ability, every lane.
I mean, it's also like, if you compare him to Shaman in that example, right? Shaman, to actually push one of these towers, would have to commit his big ultimate, whereas, like, you've separated those concerns. You can easily push him with the trees, you can support them, and you just fire and forget. Suddenly this ultimate is killing someone somewhere else while you're finding an additional objective on the other side of the map, potentially.
Does so much on a 60-second cooldown. And one hero that we haven't been paying any attention to, which, I mean, it's good, is Afro Ninja on the Outworld Devourer. He's just been kind of slowly building up a gold lead while everything is happening. He's third on net worth, next to the Prophet, who's kind of snowballing out of control, the Troll, who's been farming on his own as well, but he's almost got his 4-staff up on OD, which he's going for first, and then presumably he's going to start contributing to fights once he has that.
Ramses actually hasn't committed to a big item yet. He's still thinking about it. He's got almost 3k saved up. I feel like he really just wants to tap into that Battle Fury, but no one is not at a stage where it's feasible.
I think it does make sense to go for a Battle Fury just because you've already lost all the tier 1s. Okay, what do you get? Vyasha?
Yeah, he's gone for the Battle Fury.
It makes sense because you've already lost all the tier 1s, right? So there's no point in fighting early with Troll and trying to secure the Tinker's early game because this has already been kind of rough for the Tinker a little bit. And he's just doing his own little catch-up farm. Unfortunately, they had to sack all the tier 1s for it. But at this point, you may as well just commit to the Battle Fury because you don't need to make any more space. Tinker's already got his bots. But he's good.
Ash is going for the Midas as well. So VP basically they're just sticking themselves in a scenario where they have to buy as much time as possible now.
Hey, you got a Tinker on your team. You know, you can just hold out forever. Open to late game items. But you're dealing with Nature's Prophet, OD. Did he go for the 4-staff? He did. No Midas on OD. So looking to fight, but you have an Ursa with a Midas. still will not farm as fast as a Troll with Battle Fury and Tinker, and then Pasha with his Midas.
Effective item value though, right? Like as you approach your second, third item, there's bigger power spikes for the Ursa that goes for like the BKB and the Basher compared to the Troll.
The Prophet did go for Midas. I was thinking that
he had
OD
drums
would
queued
swap.
up.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
OD would swap as well, maybe for Midas instead of the Force Staff, just because this game has... It's going to go late. There's a Tinker. It's going to go late, for sure.
They're looking for the hack. He has got the Enrage, and he's got to use it just to get out of the Bramble Maze. Might look for the TP away. The problem is Solo's nearby and has the Wave of Terror. Looks the wrong way, sees the wrong way to hack. Phase boon out. Needs some protection here. It's going to hurt a lot, and the Rook actually gets him. It hid. It was actually hidden by the Shadow Realm hit. He couldn't see it.
FNG can save him. Oh, he might end up dying here.
No, Ramses can't get close enough. He hits pretty damn hard with that Demon Edge pickup.
That was unfortunate base, though, I guess, for your OD.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's really helpful for VP though, just making more space for no one, and I'm getting that kill, getting him closer to Blink, and like you mentioned with the Battle Fury, it definitely makes sense. You see the Midas on the Ursa, go back, you get some farming items, you pick up the Midas on Pasha as well, so he can work towards the Radiance if he wants to go down that route, and just make it a bit harder for the Ursa to fight, especially since he's aiming for the Blink Dagger, so to get a Radiance up before he can get a BKB, consider that will most likely go for the Dagger. Usually you don't want to pick up BKB. Then
Sure.
yeah, you get a lot of value out of having this Midas into Radiance if you get some good fights off of it as well, or just have the space to farm.
Against OD as well, just the miss chances. OD's not, not a huge fan. And then you force out a BKB because you have the miss chance from Tinker, miss chance from the Radiance, miss chance from Troll. Definitely need a BKB on OD at some point, maybe even Monkey King.
Until that point, these fights, when Gambit approach them, like first in their mind has to be the Brew, right? He has to just be eliminated instantly. And you can't give him the time to really get that Radiance, because if you don't have the BKBs online by then, you mentioned the miss chance, that's going to screw over us burst. And Immersion, he's alone here. No way out of that. We'll try and help him. We'll get a Fissure out at least. He can get follow-up stun, but it's too late. He is dead. And on the side, Oracle go down to secure a double kill for Tinker.
That was a really good swap by Solo. He swapped FNG down into one of the brambles so he couldn't reach to get ulti off on Immersion.
Problems arrive for Gambit. I mean, the lead is slightly there for Gambit. Just under a 1k net worth lead. But you just look at the net worth positions right now. The hack is starting to fall behind Ramses, and this is going to accelerate even more. The Battle Fury compared to the Midas, I expect, what, in the next 8 minutes, that to be a free 4k net worth lead?
Yeah, for sure. Troll just took a huge Ancient stack too, and he pings it, just saying, like, hey guys, stack this for me. I'm gonna just farm. Tinker also taking the right side jungle. Brew can just aggressively push out top. VP's getting some nice efficiency off the map right now, whereas on Gambit, they have all of their cores in the same area, although they're looking to smoke. That's why they were grouped up.
Yeah, they got the blink.
He is out on Ursa.
The hack wants to do something, whether it's Roche or boring someone's face off. It looks like it'll have to be Roche. They don't
play a lot. This is really nice.
They don't have the blink on Shaker as well, though. He's a little bit short, but BP, are they going to notice that they've smoked up? They have to be suspicious of this. Bash are going to move forward. The enragement used. They just want to finish off the Roche right now. Terrorize going to come out split as well. But no, Egg is picked up by the hack. Can they find the value? Oracle, Elon HP will go down. The Fissure cannot protect, and now they sprouted up. Good try for the TB away. Gets swapped back towards his death, though. They lose 2. They do at least secure the Roche, though.
I'm surprised VP was able to predict that they're rushing, because that was a really nice call from Gambit. I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but sneaking into the Roche pit when VP is like all standing near the Roche pit is the last thing that you would expect. It's kind of like hiding in plain sight, But VP, they looked like they were going to smoke towards the mid or bot lane, and then they were just checking the Roche pit just in case. And then they see that the smoke breaks, so Panda just immediately splits and runs into the pit. And they get 2 free pickoffs. Well, it's not free, actually. It costs them the Aegis, but the pickoffs are important. The Nature's Prophet was the highest net worth in the game. And now Troll is surpassing him, and looks like Tinker's going to very soon as well.
How do you play this next as Gambit? I mean, you've got that Aegis, but what's your pickoff? What weapons? What's the entrance kill, the ideal one for VP? Is it still going to be the Brew?
think they can honestly just kind of go for anyone to, or like, yeah, I think you want to try and catch the brew out. You can. Probably the easiest kill you can get for Gambit if you want to go in, but you definitely need to get this basher up as well then to be able to lock him down fully. Because unless your merchant gets his blink, which he's very close to now, you're definitely going to have the lockdown for it, but it's still so hard with both the Tinker and the Troll being so farmed. Troll's going to get close to his BKB to finish that up, which means that he can just frontline. You have the Tinker in the background putting marches down, and Troll can just stand and hit power. And then they have swap if they try and go for an Echo.
They do have the blink up on Earthshaker though. This is a big reveal. If they can get a good fight going here, like just have the OD go in, have somebody go in and bait, and then have Immersion hit the Echo, hit the huge Echo, because he has 3 points in Aftershock. He went for a 3-1 rebuild. Baiting on mid lane. He's pinging. Guys, let's take a fight. They don't know I've blinked.
Trying for the preemptive strike, because you mentioned those marching machines, and that is kind of the issue, is that VP can create those buffer zones, but that takes time to set up. So you just need to basically jump in, take them by surprise, get that first kill. Because if you end up in a kind of stalemate, face-off scenario, VP clearly have the advantage, right?
Yeah, for sure. The ideal scenario right now is to somehow catch the Tinker in the Echo, the initial Echo, or at least the Fissure afterwards, so he can't just keep spamming March. If you can interrupt a rearm, it does wonders, and his blink as well.
Oh, the hack?
He's in the trees.
No, he cancels it. He thought something was not right there, and the hack actually wouldn't have seen him initially anyway.
Immersion was S-canceling the Fissure though, so he was ready for it.
Nicely read by no one. Instead, VP are going to try and exploit the movement of Gambit and take this tier 1 in the mid. And they get it in time though.
I do like this Blink Dagger pickup from Panda though, on Pasha. And then going for the BKB, because then you can definitely just, once you get the BKB on Troll, you just put him up front, let him hit towers. If they ever go on him, you either swap him out or you just counter-initiate with a brew. Then you've got fight in your hands, because you, most likely the way you gotta initiate on him, I mean, you can jump with the Ursa, but then swap him out, or if they jump with the Echo, you've kind of blown an Echo for nothing.
Right. It's also kind of just committing more to the idea that you said where like Troll can go in and just frontline. You can also have Brew blink in. BKB, once a BKB is down, Primal split, and this gives time for Tinker to do damage. And like when you have a Tinker on your team, you don't need to do any damage. Here it is. Okay, right on the Earthshaker.
Yeah, they find him. He's already used the Fissure. No escape from that. Just dies almost instantly. I gotta actually give credit to no one the way he's playing this, right? We sometimes see it from the Prophets where they fake TP everywhere. He's been doing this constantly. He's just basically been distracting Gambit before his team is in position.
Yeah, the TV baits on Tinker are actually really important. It's one thing that separates really good Tinkers from decent Tinkers is you can force so much with this hero, just knowing your own impact.
Oh, that was unfortunate. He didn't want to pop the enrage, so he didn't get the brew kill, and now he might be in trouble if he's not careful here. They false out the false promise onto FNG himself just so he can survive the Tinker's attack.
Going the backlines, very important. So something you wouldn't expect from a Tinker though, is to blink at the backlines, but going for the Oracle first is the play for sure. Or you can just send him up with the Panda.
The Hawk got clipped by March there as well. He wanted to jump in on Ramses right when they were pushing down the tier 1. Got clipped by March and couldn't get his blink on top. But yeah, like you said, once he uses his blink and goes for, once the Ursa goes for the backlines, you have no threat of getting bashed on the Tinker, so you can just blink aggressively. Because if the Merchant isn't there, you're not going to get locked down. And if you've seen a Merchant use any of his spells, you just kill off the backline and then just become a nuisance for him.
Yep. The only thing he has to be worried about is getting like astraled in the fight, but he went for the Ether Lens. I would definitely say there's like a really good Ether Lens game on Tinker. It's either Kaya or Ether Lens, usually not both. Ether Lens is always great when you want to like use your laser in fights and you want to kind of get in there, but they have these abilities to kind of catch you out. Not these like long range jumps like Storm Spirit, it's just like the Fissures and the Astrals where like if you're a little bit too close, they'll clip you. But with Ether Lens, it's almost impossible to catch Tinker. Even with the Fissure, it's very hard. He just has all these angles he can go from with the Ether Lens. And he even has a Ghost Scepter that he built. So if the Ursa does blink on him, he's not a threat. The OD is not even a threat. They kind of need to like Astral in to disable him, or they need to Echo the Tinker, or bash him first hit with Ursa. Which, that's kind of asking a lot at this point.
We're still waiting on any Echo at all. So far, Merchant hasn't had the opportunity to. use this blink aggressively. Pressure just continues. Like, they never seem to be in position in time to respond to VP's moves. That yours coming out. The hack will escape though, the push. Val's gonna go down.
Can maybe get the Tinker in the trees.
Oh, they see him. The ping's coming out right now. No one. Gonna be attacked here. Sprouted up. Has the Ghost Scepter though. BKB active. Apple swapped away though. They're just trying to make sure there's no threat to Tinker. They do have to throw down the ult. It's not enough. Ramsey stays alive. Battle Trance. Ruin up Ursa. The Echo Slam on the back line. Not achieving much. In fact, it's just a whiff as Immersion dies. And Ursa will go down into the grave with him. Ramsey stays alive. They're pursuing for more. Magic Missile comes out. OD protected by the False Promise, but the clap's going to be there. The Yule's up, and when he comes down, he hasn't really got many teammates left to protect him. The Sprout to try and buy enough time. Older Coolidge doing everything he can, but he can't keep OD alive. He can't even keep himself alive, as the supports will just try and run him down with the Curse Crown coming out. He gets Invis just in time. Moving in. Clap's going to be there. Stun just in range of the Sentry here, and the laser from no one will get the kill.
What a fight.
Solo's on point with his swaps. Like,
No
really on
hesitation.
point. Yeah, swapping away Afro there to make sure that no one got his blink up again. It's these small things that just makes the fight go so well for VP.
Yep, because Immersion had Echo for that. It's just that the blink was just barely not canceled due to the swap. So he just couldn't get in range to get the blink off an Echo. So if that was like, if that swap wasn't there, or if it was 0.3 seconds later, Tinker gets echoed, they lose that fight, for sure. Tinker did almost all of the damage in that fight. Everybody else was just kind of frontlining for him, creating chaos.
And as you said, Weapon, it came down to that move by Solo, that swap out. This is kind of really indicative of him as a player, as a support, that we've come to kind of realize over time is, you know, we talk about this sacrificial support. You can kind of tell that he is, shall we say, smoothly just settled into that role and is always happy. I think he's the only POS 5 I so regularly see this double bracer build on, and it's for justified reason. He is always balls deep.
Yeah, and he knows that Roger wants to get farm as well, so just get tanky. Make sure you can use all your abilities. I mean, that's one of the most important things when it comes to Dota, just casting your spells. And if you have these double bracers on a 5 that's not going to get a lot of farm, and you know you're not going to get a lot of farm, you'll be able to get off all your abilities in a fight, or you'll be able to put yourself in a situation to save your teammates, which is going to be really helpful, especially when you have these types of heroes like a Tinker and Brewmaster that wants to get his split off as well.
Speaking of Tinker, I'll be interested to see what item he goes for next, whether it's like the Aghanim Scepter for the mischance, the right clickers of Gambit, or Sheep Stick so they can get a little bit of additional lockdown, maybe Bloodstone, maybe Dagon for the damage.
He could just finish off the E-Blade early as well to help out when the Ursa tries to jump a target. Just have that extra save for that target itself.
Oh, they're the ones jumping a target. Swap comes in, and Oracle is in a deep mess. No assistance either. Look at the rest of that Gambit. They just say, nope, leave, retreat right now. Roche.
To the Roche pit.
Yeah, it's up. So Troll says, thank you. I'd love a second life. Maybe you even think about giving this to Tinker. I'd imagine it's going to go into the hands of Ramses, though.
Yeah, probably Ramses. Because Tinker respawning, it's pretty easy to guarantee that if you kill him once, you're probably going to kill him when he respawns anyway.
Yeah, and obviously you can buy back, right? Like, you can instantly just get back into the fight anyway, so it's kind of a pseudo Aegis in these big fights.
Right, yeah, exactly. Makes sense. Roll gets on Yasha, going for the Satanic. % status resistance, pretty broken. Makes it so Earthshaker cannot actually combo you. You can just get your BKB off after he echoes, before he fissures.
Actually, one of the most frustrating things
in
the game right now.
Frustrating. Tinker appears to be going for a Sheep Stick, just that additional lockdown. Definitely good to, you know, get these pickoffs on the side lanes. If you can get like the Nature's Prophet or the OD or something like that, you can just end the game off with that pickoff.
Well, Solo, just giving his life for the cause. He was pretty far forward, so I think we can just classify that under tanking a gank.
Yeah, but look how tanky he was as well. It's almost a full overpower gets used just to kill off the Avenge. Usually you see him die in 2 or 3 hits, especially if you pop the ultimate. Now he didn't use the ultimate, but full overpower just to get Solo down makes it hard for the Hawk. And if he gets his BKB up, it's going to be useful to just chase down and hopefully stick on the Tinker if you can find the Tinker. But still, the Ghost Scepter's there, so if you don't get the dashes, then he's just kind of run away from you.
One of the nicest things about Venge, actually, is the Agi gain that she has. Sitting on 13 armor with no armor items. She has 50% physical resist, and then 1600 HP.
Roger. You know what? You'll give credit to Gambit. VP having the Aegis. You wouldn't expect Gambit to do this once, let alone twice, playing in VP's jungle the way they are.
I love that they're just defending this high ground ward spot, though. Alright, you want to come up here, you want to fight us in the high ground. Earthshaker with Echo Slam. You have a Basher on Ursa. This is our spot. It's better to do this than to just have like no area on the map that you're farming.
Radiant are scanning.
They got a lot of value out of that ward. Now it despawns. They leave when it despawns. That's the most value that you can get out of a ward like that.
Yeah, just
This is like
Sunday as well.
it's like our value. You know, our value has been claimed. Our job here is done.
Yeah. Nice play from Gambit. Really nice. See, they're keeping themselves in this.
Trying to buy as much time as possible, although how much of the map are you able to take control of while VP have this Aegis is the question. I mean, Akulic has done a good job of getting huge value out of this top lane so far. Bot lane as well.
Cutting the wave bot. God, I love this hero. Usually I'm the one playing it, so I can imagine it's pretty awful to play against. This sort of stuff, cutting the wave with the extra treants at level 15, which he actually went for the 10 armor because he's tanky build. But with the Vlads, your treants just clear a whole wave because they have lifesteal, they can do extra damage, and then
Although,
your ultimate.
VP don't seem to care. They've just bypassed this. A creep wave snuck in.
Kill the creeps, boys!
They're not going to do it quick enough. The melee racks will go down. Even if you stun him up, Ramses will not stop. The cliff's going to come out now, but he hits so hard because of that damage talent. He could probably just work through the back door if need be.
Oh my
That's
god,
a tree.
the trees.
Yeah,
the
it's
trees.
actually blocking it. He finally realizes where he actually cut the tree correctly, and he'll get the melee rack, so value gained for VP.
That would have been sick if that protected it until backdoor came out. Although I think Troll hits fast enough that you can just tear through back.
Yeah, especially with this damage. Look how hard he's hitting. He's almost at 300 damage.
Yep, and there's a DD rune on the top lane. Vice's Reaver, TP's top. Presumably go get the DD and then they'll take mid. But Ursa, Daxic gets the DD.
What do you think of this build, by the way, Wepas? The BKB plus the stats resistance when you've got a Tinker in your team. It feels like you are fulfilling your role, right? You're just meant to tank more than anything else.
Even without a Tinker in your team, I really like this. On Troll especially. You just always are going to be able to get your ultimate off because of that full status resistance.
Oh my god.
They're going to catch a Merchant out here.
Yeah. He was actually just sitting there. He had his sentry down. He thought he was safe. And they caught just a glimpse of him because of the river ward. Now they're going to chase for more. The Hex is going to come out. Oracle's been seen as well. The swap forward solo says, I want that kill.
Has a gem too, so.
And they managed to protect the siege as well.
Yep.
Just about.
Got all the auras, plus 17 damage, an extra attack speed, minus armor on the towers.
It seems to be the sad story of Akulic as well. He's done it again. He is cutting the creep wave, but they already got one wave through.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to do this on a siege creep wave. Fortunately, though, it's low enough that immersion can kill it. Where did OD die? Oh,
He died bottom to Tinker.
Oh, yeah, he went down. Unexpected.
Yeah, that should just be Megas, honestly.
You can't stop
The
it.
OD, and if you try and go in and fight, unless you get an amazing Echo here, there's nothing you can really do.
Well, they're not stacking. Instead, they're going to split preemptively and just look to go. The Hex did come on a solo, but now you commit a lot of control there. Where is it for the rest of the team? BKB on Dahak just so you can run away, essentially. Stun out to Prophet so you can't get involved. Cyclone up in the air. Oracle won't be able to save anyone. And Ramsey says base. Hit base right now. We want those Megas. And Root's going to come out. Prophet, he's found. He's dead. The fissure will not change that outcome. Oracle not able to save anyone's life because of these Cyclones, and the GG comes out. VP take the series 2-1, keeping the standard way of winning series alive.
The VP way.
3,400. What is that? What is that reference?
3,140
Is that the
GG.
did he control paste the Roche time? Is that what he did? I think he pasted the Roche time. What a surprise.
Yeah.